3, 2, 1.
Is this your homework, Larry?
Ask him about the car, man.
Is this yours, Larry? Is this your homework, Larry?
Is that your car out front?
Is this your homework, Larry?
We know it's his fucking homework. Where's the fucking money, you little brat?
Turkey, a lean protein that's incredibly versatile and shared widely amongst Americans on Turkey. Turkey, a country between two seas that's known for its rich history, authoritarian leaders, inflated currencies, and the birthplace of Santa Claus, saw its currency, the lira, fall 15% versus the dollar today, tanking the country's stock exchange and reminding the world there are consequences of irresponsible monetary policy.
With regard to interest rates, we continue to expect it will be appropriate to maintain the current 0 to 1/4% target range for the federal funds rate until labor market conditions have reached levels consistent with the committee's assessment of maximum employment, and inflation has risen to 2% and is on track to moderately exceed 2% for some time. I would note that a transitory rise in inflation above 2%, as seems likely to occur this year.
Speaking of, 10-year Treasury yields dropped slightly today, back under 1.7%, but the S&P 500 and the DXY didn't give a French toast, closing the day not too far from where they opened. Bitcoin, though, a much different story. Bitcoin is down almost 14% from its all-time high of $61,690. It saw just a little over a week ago. Now, we have been waiting for this pullback for quite some time, and after more than a month of sideways price action, it's nice to finally get a breakout and some indication where the price might be going over the next couple of weeks. Now, we're quickly approaching the CME settlement date on the 28th. Open interest has been slowly rising since the start of the month, a potential clue that this correction may only last the rest of this week. Now, price action broke bearish out of this symmetrical triangle, and the bears do appear to be in full control right now as the price continues to retrace, quickly approaching the sub $50,000 levels. Now, it's important to note here that there is a pretty large CME gap still open, well below the price, with the bottom of the gap at $23,670. Now, while I do not see the price falling that low, we can't rule out the possibility that this gap may get filled. Now, it is Bitcoin. So price action is quickly approaching our first pullback target here at 51,996 near the 204-hour EMA. And I don't see the price getting the bounce here, but it should definitely get a bounce. So the next pullback target is just under 50K at $49,237 thousand. Here we have the 55 daily EMA, and this price area is just above a high volume node here on the VPVR, letting us know that there is some bullish support beneath this price. Now, there is a lot of confluence at this price level, and depending on what momentum looks like as the price approaches this target, it is a strong candidate for a bottom before this bull run resumes. Now, if bears take Bitcoin lower than this target, the next target underneath would be at $45,000, right around the $48.8 thousand level. There is a lot of confluence supporting the case that Bitcoin could get a bounce here. An important anchored VWAP lands here from the 29.15 low on the 27th of January, where Bitcoin got a bounce off the 55 daily EMA just before Bitcoin broke out into a month-long uptrend all the way up to $58,000. Now, our fourth pullback target here is at the $38.65 thousand price level. And again, there is a shitload of confluence here. Now, this includes the 21 weekly EMA, which is just below the price at $37.8 thousand and is slowly moving up to where our T4 is. So there's a lot of volume support here too, according to the VPVR. And making this price area really interesting are the anchored VWAPs from the 26th November low of 16,925 and the December 10th low of 17,569. The bottom of the late November 2020 consolidation before breaking into new all-time highs later in December. Now, this level is also the 1272 extension from the $58,000 high that we saw in February, the target of the completed ABC correction that we were expecting to see following Bitcoin reaching that high, but we actually never did get that. Or is this extended B-wave correction idea from a few videos ago going to play out? I went into some detail in one of these previous videos. It's actually popping up on the screen right now if you want to check it out. But long story short, the principle is essentially the same. The targets are just a little different. If this B-wave does happen to play out, though, we're likely looking at a sub 40K of Bitcoin. But I mean, I really don't see it, but it's not impossible. And in all honesty, if Bitcoin did come down that far, it would literally be like pulling back a slingshot, as everyone would move into Bitcoin at these lower prices, and it would fuel another fresh leg of this bull run.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
So right now, it's difficult to say how far down Bitcoin will really retrace. However, there is quite a bit of confluence at our pullback target 2 at 49.237K and our pullback target 3 at 44.84K. And as always, these targets are ranges, they're not specific targets. Now, depending on what price structure looks like and feels like as Bitcoin heads towards these targets, we'll either layer in buy orders aggressively near the prices, or if price action shows some indecision or increasing bearish momentum, we'll layer in orders at these areas of confluence with a bit more caution. Now, the opportunity we're looking at over these next few days to lock in a solid buy at these prices may honestly never come around again. Bitcoin is becoming more than just a speculative asset, as its utility and potential are quickly becoming realized. Now, I fully expect this bull cycle to reach highs over $300,000 in the latter half of 2021, especially as inflation ramps up across the globe and institutional adopters continue to pile in. Now, a $360,000 top will likely coincide with some sort of important news. Right now, I'm thinking that will be likely the announcement of a approved United States ETF. Now, a status a lot of people are really hoping for, but honestly, it may not be good for the price. Just as the futures market did in 2018, a Bitcoin ETF could potentially be the primer for the next Bitcoin bear market.